What you're about to watch is more than just a story. It's a powerful testimony of a miraculous recovery from a brain-dead situation. Get ready to be moved. When this testimony was shared on NSPPD today, we knew we had to pass it on. This is a story of from brain dead to full recovery. Doctors couldn't explain this.
My name is Letitia Konedu. My husband, Samuel Konedu, from New York. On February 22, 2022, I found my husband on the floor near our bedroom door around 3 a.m. in the morning, and I called 911. They came and they took him to the hospital. The doctors called and told me he was bleeding in his head. They're going to take him to surgery, so they need my consent. And he was bleeding severe in the head, but they cannot promise me if he will survive. So after the surgery, so they took him to ICU, where one of the doctors came after 2-3 days that I should sign DNR because he's not going to survive. Even if he survives, he's going to be a vegetable. And I said no. All his organs were shut down.
But was there a reason for them telling her to sign the DNR?
The DNR is a do not resuscitate. In
Yes.
case his heart would stop, they will not perform CPR.
That's right.
Yes.
Because there's no need for it at that point.
Yeah.
That's what you say.
That's
Yes.
right.
We spent about 3 weeks in ICU, and they sent her to the floor. The orthopedic doctor came and told me my husband is not going to get better, so they're going to send him to nursing home, and I refused. I asked them I want him to go to rehab. They told me no rehab is going to accept him because of his condition. They gave him trach and a feeding tube. I told them we need to cover the head because they removed half of his scalp.
So the surgery that they performed on him, they removed a portion of his skull.
Yes.
Yeah, that's right.
Okay. So they did that to allow the brain to expand because there was swelling in the brain, right?
Yes.
Okay. So
Yes.
the skull is removed now.
Yes.
Okay. So how was the brain being protected?
They gave him the helmet. He was wearing a helmet all the time. And the doctor said they cannot do the surgery and put the skull back because he was so weak and too much infection. They don't know where it's coming from. Thank God another nursing home rehab accepted him. So when we took him there, I found a lady from Nigeria, Rosemary. She introduced me to NSPPD. First week, Pastor Jerry was saying it will not end the way the devil planned it.
It will not end the way the devil planned it. Oh God, oh God, oh God.
And what you are afraid of, it will not happen.
Hear me as I hear the Lord. What you are afraid of will not happen. What you are afraid of will not happen.
That was something that I was holding on. And when we went there, he was in coma. We started seeing improvement. So anytime I go there, I play with him with the NSPPD. So I asked someone to record the NSPPD on MP3. So I hung the MP3 on his bed.
I wasn't hearing anything. All I remember was at some point in the night, I would hear them pray on the MP3, especially when the MP3 was hung around my bed. That was when I would hear them pray, and I would be responding, Amen, fire, Amen, fire.
In your mind?
Yeah, I think it was in my mind because I couldn't shout, but I could hear them, Amen. So I just rolled along with them, and I was in bed.
After 2 months listening to NSPPD, we started seeing progress. He started moving. He couldn't sit by himself, but we see a lot of improvement from there. And they told me he cannot eat, he cannot drink, but I started giving him communion. And giving him communion, he started talking more. When I'm leaving, he asked me for the communion again until he started sitting. One day after the NSPPD, I went to see him and he told me he can stand. And I said, how can you do it? And the nurse told me he did. So I asked him, and he stand by himself. I was very shocked.
I used to play with them in the night because when you work when you are in a bed at a hospital, you're not moving. So at night you can't sleep. And that was when the the MP3 was playing. It will be playing the whole night, and so all I will be saying is following, amen, fire, whatever. I was just following them, amen, amen, and then every day I will tell you, I can do that, I can stand, I can, sometimes I don't know if somebody was talking to me or the spirit of God. So why would you say I can stand? And then all that.
I told the nurse I want them to remove the feeding tube because he can eat. And I tried him before telling them. I gave him food, he finished it. I gave him soup, he drank it. I gave him jollof rice, he finished it.
Oh,
so
really?
I told them to remove
about all that, please.
It was a little struggle, but later they let me sign it and they removed it. August 3rd, 2022, we went back to the hospital and they put the scarf back.
Because the improvement was so fast rapid to the point that
I went there with my own walker.
The head nurse will come, open our door, and then tell my wife, I don't know what you've been doing in that room.
Yes.
But whatever you are doing in that room, keep on doing it because it's working. That was when I was playing the NSPPD. Yes, but I think you said the nurse, the Nigerian nurse told her that if I start praying with NSPPD and I don't get better, contrary to what the doctors were saying that this is a dead man and all that, he will stop praying on NSPPD.
Yes, that's what. She will stop following. Yes.
And then when I got it and I was listening and following, I mean, the healing process, I cannot describe it because at some point I realized it was so fast. When I started, yes, at some point it was so fast.
What did the medical team tell you?
They were surprised. They always go and look at his chart. They always go. When they come and see him, I told them he can walk with the walker. They don't believe it. And I always record it. So I showed them the video and they were shocked. I told them he can eat. They don't believe it. I showed them the video that feeding him.
Did they do any swallow tests, swallowing?
Before they would do the swallow test, I did mine already. Yes,
so now he's walking, he's eating, he's talking. No more fevers, no more seizures.
No more. May 15, 2023, we get discharged. We went home.
From the time it started to the time you went home, how much time had elapsed?
Over a year. That's why I put it 1.5 years.
She would know exactly.
Oh, okay. That's why I deduct 2022 from my age.
One doctor told
I wasn't part of 2022.
Wow.
Yes, one doctor told us, why am I rushing to take him home? Because his one side is not going to get better. No matter what.
The left
side. She said, he's not going to be 100% better. And I asked her, are you his God? So she stopped. But now, can you stand up?
Yeah, I do whatever.
He can walk by himself.
Oh, do I start?
No weakness.
No weakness. The doctor says his brain is not going to get better.
And then at some point they come back to me and ask me. And they come back to me, they say, do you have a second degree? We feel you're not sound, so we're not going to discharge you. Because it was in my report that the man is mentally not okay.
Yes.
And then at night somebody will come to me. Which college did you attend? Where did you school? And all that stuff. And then because I said, why they keep asking me such questions? And then one Filipino nurse confided in me, said, they come, we meet and we discuss you, and everybody is saying that no, the man is too smart. It's like he has a second degree. That's why she came to ask me, do you have a second degree?
You went from not being mentally
sound to a second degree.
Too smart.
Okay, yes. Too smart for them. Yes. Too smart for their liking.
Elroy.
That's right. That's why I want to chip in this thing. Yes. The doctor said, anytime he saw me, he will go around, bring some of his colleagues who happen to be around. Come, come, come. And it was like he's been talking about me. He is a walking miracle. Come see him. We were here when they brought him. We thought he was not going to make it. But look at him. Look at him. He's walking and he's talking. So he's a walking miracle. But I remember walking, talking, and he said, "You know what?" I said, "Tell me." He said, the mother used to tell her about the Bible, prayer, miracle, and she didn't believe her mother because she thought her mother was a stark illiterate. For her to believe all that, it was something, you know. But then he told me that seeing you when they brought you and the state in which you are now I believe in miracles. So now I'm going to go back and then start reading my Bible and believe in what my mother used to tell me.
Amen.
And then the head nurse told my wife, "I want to follow you to church now. Where do you fellowship, blah, blah, and all that stuff." But every morning he will come to my room and say, "I don't know, what's going on in this room?" And every morning I feel like coming to your room. That's where I get my vibes to go about my Miss Kim, you know her?
I hear you.
Yes. Every morning she will come to my room because at some point what we do in the room, there was this man in the room, my roommate. I go out and I come back. He says, "Sam, you are looking bright like the bulb. You're shining like the bulb." I said, "Is it true?" He said, "Yes, I won't lie to you. You are shining." And I said, "It's prayer, not the medication." So, and then at some point, the daughter said, the father has been there for maybe 8 or 6 months, but they've never seen their dad in such a mood, happy mood. They will come find us chatting and then blah, blah. I will say, "Papi, you look like 16. I said, "Sam, you're telling me." And then anytime my wife enters, she say, "Yeah, man."
Yes.
And then I come, I say, Papi, you know what? You know about this song?" And then I'll say, I go like any Jamaican song I sing, he knows the lyrics. So once I say "Wata bam bam," he starts singing.
Yes.
He will sing the whole this thing. And I say, "Oh, Papa." And some of the nurses will come around and say, "These people, they don't sleep." Yeah, it's like.
So not only did you get better, you get even better than before.
Yes.
Oh yeah. That's
Yes.
why they said the man is not making sense, and then you come back to tell me the man is too smart for our liking. So we are here to thank God for what He has done. Yeah, Elroy.
Yes.
Elroy, the God who
Pastor
sees
Jerry,
me.
God bless you.
Bless you, Pastor Jerry.
What God cannot do
Does not
does not
exist.
exist. That's my evidence.
I'm here.
You like that?
The devil is a liar.
Amen.